money, motherfucker.
The Jell-O program, starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston and Phil Harris and his orchestra.
Thank you. This is Groucho Marx. Well, here I am, stepping in over my head again.
With Fibber McGee and Molly.
Folks, this is just as new to me as it is to you.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Benny. This is Rochester.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Well, what an original greeting.
Hello and welcome to another week of comedy, funny, ha-ha, on Dwayne Old Time Radio. One thing, please subscribe to my channel. If you enjoy what I'm doing, subscribing is 100% free. Also, one more thing, if you have a few seconds or 1 minute, please leave a review on your preferred podcast service, especially if you're on Apple, Spotify, or really just your preferred podcast service. Thank you and hope you enjoy. End of month means Jack Benny time. Jack Benny here with 2 episodes for Mr. Benny. Jack buys his Maxwell, his car, October 24th, 1938.
The Jell-O program, starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Kenny Baker, and yours truly, Don Wilson. The orchestra opens the program with No Wonder. Well, here we are at the beginning of another year, and Jell-O wants to send greetings to all of you. And we've received a letter that makes a swell New Year's greeting for us. It's from a woman who's been using Jell-O year in and year out for the past 37 years. She is Mrs. C.C. Brown of Huntington, West Virginia. And listen to what she writes. We bought our first package of Jell-O in December 1902. We lived in the country then and made few trips to a store, so the Jell-O was a bit of a luxury, saved for the holiday gathering of kin and friends. Needless to say, Jell-O made a hit, and we've used it exclusively ever since. When I had my own home, I wanted something special. Nothing so filled the requirements as Jell-O. In all those 37 years of use, I've never had a package that wasn't perfect, and Jell-O is a prime favorite with my family. Well, thank you, Mrs. Brown. That's a grand letter to start us off on 1939, and to the rest of you, we'd like to say, if you want to give your family their prime favorite dessert, if you want to enjoy that delicious, extra-rich fruit flavor, look for the big red letters on the box. They spell Jell-O. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this being the first day of the new year, it behooves me to introduce the star of this program in a manner befitting his dignity and position.
Well.
He is a man whose illustrious character and many fine qualities have my sincere admiration.
Oh, Don, please.
A man whose lovable nature and unselfish devotion to others...
Say, Jack.
Quiet, Mary. I want to hear this. Go ahead, Don.
Whose unselfish devotion to others has endeared him to the hearts of his public.
How true.
So I bring you none other than that sparkling, scintillating, outstanding personality...
That's not me. I'll kill myself.
Jack Benny.
Hello again. This is Jack Benny talking, one of the sweetest guys I've ever met. And, Don, I want to thank you for that beautiful introduction. You know, as a rule, a man has to be dead before he gets such a lovely tribute.
Well, I wrote it just before the broadcast while you were lying down.
Oh, you didn't expect me to get up, eh? Well, I am pretty tired after last night. Hey, by the way, Don, what did you do New Year's Eve? Did you have any fun?
Oh, I had a swell time, Jack. Simply wonderful.
That's good.
First, I took my wife to a movie, and then we went to the Coconut Grove to celebrate.
Well, that was nice. First the picture, and then the Coconut Grove. I suppose you danced a lot.
No, my wife left her shoes in the movies.
Well, there's nothing like relaxing at the cinema. I often slip my shoes off myself, but I'm getting so absent-minded I'm not going to do it anymore.
You're not?
No, the other night at Grauman's Chinese, I was clear down to my underwear before the usher stopped me. Oh, it was embarrassing.
I can imagine. Well, tell me, Jack, how did you spend New Year's Eve? Any excitement last night?
Well, I had a fairly good time, Don. I took Mary to the Wilshire Bowl, you know, where Phil Harris is playing.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Say, you had a pretty good time in my place last night, didn't you, Jackson?
Yes, I had a nice time, Philson. But as long as it was your place, you might have seen that I got a decent table.
What are you talking about? Your table wasn't so far away.
It wasn't. I was so far from the bandstand, I couldn't even see the circles under your eyes. It's a fine table.
Oh, you're exaggerating, Jack. There were a lot of people sitting behind you.
Listen, Phil, the only people sitting behind me were from Pasadena, and they were home at the time. What a New Year's Eve.
Well, Jack, maybe Phil couldn't help it. New Year's Eve's a big night, and after all, first come, first serve.
That's what burns me up, Don. I was the first one in the place. I got there so early, the manager asked me to help blow up the balloon. How do you like that?
Well, you got paid for it, didn't you?
That's not the point. Now, let me tell you another thing, Phil. I don't mind my table being far away, but the next time you seat me behind a post, please see that there's a knothole in it.
Behind a post? What are you talking about?
Oh, never mind.
Hello, Jack. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I was just telling Phil about the fine table he gave us last night. Imagine seating us behind a post. It burns me up.
You're crazy, Jack. We weren't behind a post.
We weren't?
No, that was a piece of confetti on your glasses.
Well, why didn't you tell me? I nearly broke my neck trying to peek around it. Anyway, post or no post, we were certainly sitting far enough away from everything.
Well, I'm glad we were. I was so ashamed sitting next to you with that old-fashioned tuxedo you had on. Why don't you buy a new one?
Oh, how often do I wear a tuxedo? Besides, it isn't so old.
It isn't?
No.
Go on. I put my hand in your pocket and pulled out a program from Ford's Theater.
Listen, Mary, that suit might be a little out of style, but they're still wearing single... Now, listen, Mary, that suit might be a little out of style, but they're still wearing single-breasted tuxedos.
Not with a belt in the back.
Well, they're coming back, so don't be so smart.
Mary's right, Jack.
Oh, she is.
Your pants were so tight you had to wear your garters on the outside.
Listen, Maestro, one more crack out of you, and you'll be leading the organ on the Lum and Abner program. And another thing, Phil, the next time I dance by your orchestra, watch your baton. Remember that.
Okay, buddy.
Buddy, yes. Incidentally, fellas, this being the new year, I was going to give you all a raise in salary, but the way you've been acting today, I'm not going to do it.
I'd be satisfied just to get my regular salary on time.
Now, wait a minute, Phil. Don't give me that. I put your check in the mail every Monday morning.
Well, from now on, don't pin it on a postcard. I don't want people to know what I'm making.
All right, Phil, cut out the beefing. Let's see if we can't inaugurate the new year with a little harmony.
Oh, Jack, you want to hear something awful?
What, Mary?
Here it is, New Year's, and I forgot to write a poem about it.
Oh, that's a shame.
I'll sit right down and dash one off.
Okay, hurry it up.
I'll fill in a little time for you, Mary. Ladies and gentlemen, while Miss Livingston is struggling with her latest brainchild, let me remind you that one of the best ways to start out the new year is to have Jell-O for dessert.
Darn this pen.
It is tempting, delicious, easy to make, and comes in 6 delicious flavors.
Hey, Jack, how do you spell knowledge? With an N or a K?
With a K.
Strawberry, raspberry, cherry.
With a capital K?
Orange.
Yes, a capital K.
Lemon and lime, for heaven's sake.
I'm sorry, Don. And now, folks, going from the...
All right, Jack, I'm all set.
Why, Mary, is your poem finished already?
Yeah?
Gee, you work faster than George Bernard Shaw.
Well, his beard gets in his way.
Oh, that's right. What's the title of your poem?
Goodbye, Goodbye, 1938. Hello, 1939.
Well, that covers everything. Go ahead.
Oh, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Please don't be a sad and blue year. These last 12 months have been sublime. So goodbye, 38. Hello, 39.
Well, so far, nobody is screaming.
You just wait.
Oh.
I wonder who this coming year will be our favorite movie star. Will it be Garbo or Sonia Heine? So goodbye, 38. Hello, 39.
90.
What has this year in store for us? For thee and thou, and thy and thus. Will Don get fatter? Will Phil be gay? Will Penny get knowledge with a capital K?
I doubt it.
I'd like to ask you, if I dare, will Jack continue to lose his hair?
Mary.
And when it's gone, will it stay away? Goodbye, 38. Hello, toupee.
Mary, get to the last verse, will you?
It's coming up now.
That's good.
Oh, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Please don't be a sad and blue year. We will give you one more chance. So goodbye, Broadway. Hello, France.
Well. Mary, you finally did it. Hey, Phil, do you think you can follow Mary's poem with a number?
I'll try.
Okay, hit it, boys. Wait a minute. Come in.
Mr. Benny?
Yes?
Oh, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. To the greatest man I know. And I bring you fondest greetings. There's a wagon. I must go.
Well, I'm glad they let him out for our program. Play, Phil. Kiss, played by Phil Harris and his original orchestra. And now, ladies and gentlemen...
Original?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, Jack. This isn't the band I started out with.
I don't mean that, Phil. I mean when they look at their music, they still play something original. And speaking of the band, Phil, you'd think that they could start out the new year by dressing a little better. Where'd they get those awful-looking neckties?
Aren't they atrocious?
They certainly are. Where'd they get them?
I gave them to them for Christmas.
Oh. And saying that reminds me, Phil, that was some Christmas present you sent me. You must have been under the weather when you bought it.
Oh, no, I wasn't. I was sober as a judge when I bought your gift.
You were not.
I was, too.
Then let me ask you something. What use have I got for a porthole? Isn't that a fine present, Mary? A porthole.
Well, if your head gets any bigger, you can use it for a monocle.
All right, don't make it any worse than it is. Oh, hello, Kenny.
Hiya, Jack. Happy New Year.
Well, Kenny, I see you're still celebrating. You must have had a good time last night.
I'll say. I didn't get to bed until 10 o'clock. Gosh, I'm a wreck.
Kenny, how can you be a wreck if you went to bed at 10 o'clock?
I slept in a folding bed and I forgot to pull it down.
Well, it's none of my business, Kenny, but would you mind telling me how you got into a folding bed without pulling it down first?
I'm not going to tell till I get it patented.
Oh, that's right. Guard your secret carefully. And stop blowing that horn.
Well, I'm practicing for the Rose Bowl game at Pasadena tomorrow. Say, are you going, Jack?
I certainly am. I wouldn't miss it for anything. Hey, Mary, I got a couple of good seats. You want to go with me?
No. I went with you last year, and you were the only one in the stand wearing a raccoon coat and a beanie.
Well?
And the way you were waving that pennant around, I was so embarrassed.
Well, what's wrong with waving a pennant?
Yours said Waukegan High School on it.
All right, you don't have to go with me. I'll take somebody else. You want to go with me, Kenny?
Sure, but I'll have to bring my girl along.
Well, I don't see how, Kenny. I've only got 2 seats.
Well, I'll invite her anyway. Maybe we can lose her in the crowd.
Yes, that ought to solve our problem. Incidentally, I mislaid my tickets somewhere in the house. I hope Rochester finds them.
Hey, Jack, who do you pick to win the game, Duke or USC?
Well, Phil, I'm a USC man myself, and I think it's a cinch for them to win.
Oh, you do, eh? Well, how much do you want to bet?
I didn't say anything about betting, Phil. I just told you who was going to win.
Well, if you're so sure about it, why don't you want to bet?
Because gambling is naughty. And you know it.
You mean because you're a scaredy cat?
Scaredy cat. Listen, Harris, what are the odds on the game?
2 to 1 on USC.
All right, wise guy, I'll bet you 20 cents to a dime, and put up or shut up. Well, what are you stalling for, Harris?
He's afraid if he wins, you'll fire him.
That's it.
I thought you'd welch on it.
20 cents to a dime. Make that $100 to 50 and you got a bet.
Don't try to show off, Phil. You had your chance. Now, let's drop it.
You know, I don't think Jack wanted to bet at all.
Think? Kenny, your job on this program is to sing.
Well, I can have a hobby, can't I?
You better stick to stamps, Kenny, and go ahead with your song so we can get to do our play tonight.
Okay.
Hold it a minute. That must be Rochester. I asked him to call me. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Benny. This is Rochester.
Yeah, I was waiting for your call. Did you find my 2 tickets for the Rose Bowl game?
No, I look high and low. I can't find them anywhere.
Oh, gone it. That's a shame. Well, keep on looking. They might be in the house. They must be in the house someplace.
Okay.
So long.
So long. Say, boss, can I have tomorrow off? I gotta go to a wedding in Pasadena.
A wedding in Pasadena. Tell me, Rochester, who's getting married?
What was that, boss?
I said, who's getting married in Pasadena tomorrow?
Oh, aunt of mine.
An aunt of yours, eh? Who's she marrying?
Some fella that's going to be my uncle.
Uh-huh, I see. Now, at what time does this wedding take place?
They kick off by 1:30.
What's that? What did you say?
Nothing. Keep quiet, operator.
Rochester, there was no operator on the line. Now, you found those Rose Bowl tickets, didn't you?
Well,
You found those tickets, didn't you?
Am I under oath?
Answer me. Did you or did you not find those tickets?
Sing, Kenny.
Listen, Rochester, when I get home tonight, I want to find those 2 tickets on the dresser in my bedroom.
Okay, boss. Happy New Year.
Go ahead and sing, Kenny. That Rochester. The only way I can keep things in my house is to nail him down.
I promise you with heart sincere that I will always love you, dear. That when you need me, I'll be near. I promise you. My love for you is as great as a love can be. Yet words couldn't quite express the way that I feel. And as we stand at the doorway of days to be, I faithfully take an oath on all that concerns us both. I promise you with heart sincere that I will always love you, dear. That when you need me, I'll be near. my chances will increase to keep the vow I've taken, to see that your joys never cease. I promise you your heart will sing in what will seem eternal spring. I'll try to bring you everything I promise you.
That was I Promise You, sung by Kenny Baker. And Kenny, that was very good for a fellow who stayed up until 10 o'clock. Your voice hardly showed it.
Oh, I'll put myself together in a couple days.
I hope so. And Kenny, if you got to bed at 10 o'clock last night, how'd you get those awful circles under your eyes?
I painted them on. Ain't I nuts?
You sure are. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for our feature attraction this evening...
I was going to paint wrinkles on my forehead, but my mother wouldn't let me.
Well, she was right. And now, ladies and gentlemen...
If I was Kenny's mother, I'd trade him in for an Airedale.
Now, Mary, Kenny's mother wouldn't do that. And now, folks...
We've got an Airedale.
All right. If you two will quiet down, I'd like to get on with our play. And now, folks...
You know something, Kenny? I never met your mother.
Oh, you didn't?
Phil, for heaven's sake, who cares? Now, let's get on with the play. Everybody's butting in here but Don.
Well, I met Mrs. Baker.
Oh. Well, I'm very happy to know it. And now, folks, going from Mrs. Baker to our feature attraction of the evening, this being the first day of the new year, tonight we are going to present an original play, a sort of a New Year's fantasy, entitled The New Tenant, or Goodbye 38, Hello 39. Now, I will...
You stole that from my poem.
Mary, that was just a coincidence, believe me. Now, in this fantasy, I will play the part of 1938. And Mary...
You know, Jack, I read this play 4 times, and I still can't understand it.
Well, in the first place, Kenny, our play is a little too deep. And in the second place, you're a little dope. Now, I will be 1938, and Mary will be Mrs. 1938, my loving, loyal wife. And we have 12 children. What are you laughing at?
I don't know. It's censored.
And keep still. Now, our play opens in the home of Mr. and Mrs. 1938, who live in a big round house called the Earth. It is almost midnight on December 31st, and their lease is about to expire. Curtain. Music. Oh, Mariah.
What do you want, Pa?
Better hurry up with that packing. The landlord said we got to get out by midnight to make room for the new tenant.
The new tenant? Who is he?
Oh, some little nudist by the name of 39. He don't know what he's getting into, does he, Ma?
Nope. This house sure has been a mess, ain't it?
You said it. Remember a couple of months ago when the bathtub ran over and got New England soaking wet?
I sure do. And say, Pa, what about the time last spring when the roof leaked and we had to hang Los Angeles out to dry?
Wasn't that awful?
Yep. Hey, Pa, turn on the moon. I can't see what I'm packing here.
Okay. Hey, Moon.
What do you want, you old fossil?
I want some light down here. And quit winking at my wife.
Okay. Say, you want some milk, too?
Milk?
Yeah, a cow just jumped over me.
Well, I'll be darned.
Quit gabbing, Pa. We ain't got much time.
That's right. Darn those shooting stars. They're having a feud again.
Doggone it, Pa. Even with all our troubles, I kind of hate to leave here.
So do I. After all, we did have a lot of fun.
Remember the time that scallywag Howard Hughes flew around our house in 5.5 days?
Do I? He sure had me dizzy. And then that fella Corrigan. He started to fly from the kitchen to the parlor, and the darn fool ended up on the back porch.
Say, Pa, did you pack up all the swing music?
I'm doing it now. Flatfoot bluesy with the Floyd. Might as well take that with us. Say, Ma, it's 5 minutes to 12. We better start rounding up the kids. Where are they?
Well, January, February, and March, they're outside playing on a cloud.
Oh, where's April?
He's taking a shower.
Oh, he's always doing that.
The rest lots of them around here someplace.
Well, tell them to stick close. We're going to leave in just a few minutes.
I wonder who that can be.
I'll go over and see. A tisket, a tasket. Boy, am I sick of that. Well, look who's here.
Who is it, Pa?
It's old man Mars from across the Milky Way. Hiya, Mars.
Hiya, neighbor. Heard you were leaving tonight, so thought I'd drop over and say goodbye.
Well, that was mighty sweet of you.
Say, I sure handed you a scare a couple of months ago, didn't I?
You certainly... Hey, what was the big idea, anyway?
Well, I really didn't mean it. I was lighting a cigarette, and I reached down in the Hudson River to put the match out.
And what happened?
Well, my hand slipped, and I gave New Jersey a hot foot.
You sure did. Say, Mars, you'll have to excuse me now. It's almost midnight, and I got to be getting out of here. So long.
So long. Oh, say, I got my rocket ship outside. Can I give you a lift anywhere?
No, thanks. We'll be all right. Say, those rocket ships smoke a lot, don't they?
Yeah, the exhaust pipes are bad. I just flew by heaven, and now angels really got dirty faces.
Well, if you pass by the other place, give my regards to Fred Allen. So long, Mars.
So long.
Well, Ma, it's almost midnight, so put on that silly hat of yours and let's get going.
Okay, Pa.
There's the first stroke of 12. I wonder what's keeping the new tenant.
Don't worry, he'll be here.
Doggone, Ma, I forgot to find out where we're moving to.
Thought you bought a place over on Jupiter.
No, but I took a look at Venus. Time's a-fleeting. We can't leave until that little brat gets here.
That must be him now.
Yep. Come in. Well, hello, young fella. Are you the little New Year?
I ain't Bobby Brink.
Well, my boy, come right in. Well, this is it, young man. Tell me, what do you think of your new home?
Boy, what a dump. This house could stand a lot of fixing up.
I know it, son. There's a lot of things wrong here, my boy. Yes, sirree. That Spanish shawl on the piano there is all ripped and torn. Need a lot of mending. And another thing, the china's just about all smashed to pieces. And while I think of it, son, if you see some little lost sheep roaming about, try and find a place for them around the house somewhere.
I'll do what I can. For heaven's sake, let's get going.
Just a second more. Now, there's just one more thing, young fella.
What's that?
May not sound like much, but it's a mighty big issue. Your greatest worry, my boy, is going to be to pick out a Scarlet O'Hara. That had me groggy all year.
Come on, Pa, you're talking too much.
I'm coming, Ma. Say, young fella, if you want any Jell-O, you'll find plenty in the pantry.
Thanks, old-timer.
You're welcome. Happy New Year, young fella.
Happy New Year.
Come on, Ma, let's go.
Here's a swell new dessert for the holiday season. It's one the whole family will enjoy, and it's easy to prepare. It's Jell-O butterscotch pudding. And until you've tried it, you don't know just how delicious a pudding dessert can be. Creamy smooth, rich and tasty, with that real old-fashioned butterscotch flavor that will bring the family back for more. Then try the new Jell-O vanilla pudding. Tempting, delicate, and full flavors. And the Jell-O chocolate pudding, smooth and chocolatey, the kind that Mother used to make, but far quicker and easier. For all three Jell-O puddings take next to no time to prepare. There's only a few minutes cooking required. You'll find the simple directions on every package. And these new puddings will be a real surprise to you, for they're just as good as your own. Made with the same fine, wholesome ingredients, with a taste and texture you'll say is perfect. The best way to buy is to get 3 packages at a time. So ask your grocer for Jell-O butterscotch, vanilla, and a chocolate pudding. The real homemade kind.
This is the last number of the 14th program in the new Jell-O series. And we will be with you again next Sunday night at the same time. Are you listening, Tommy? And now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to announce that in response to many, many requests, and owing to a renewed and timely interest, we are going to present our version of Walt Disney's famous picture, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, next Sunday night. So if you missed it the first time, folks, be sure and tune in. And if you heard it, tune in anyway, as we're going to have a brand new Prince Charming. Guess who, folks? Oh, Andy, you gave it away. Good night, folks.
K-E-L-L. On the Jello program, courtesy of Mervyn LeRoy Productions. The Jello program, starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Kenny Baker, and yours truly, Don Wilson. The orchestra opens the program with Mr. and Mrs. America. You know, one of our grandest American institutions is the good old-time parade. And starting next Thursday, April 6th, the Parade of Progress will go marching along all over this country. It's sponsored by the Associated Grocery Manufacturers of America, and Jello is proud to join. Because Jello's whole existence has been a parade of progress for the 40-odd years it's been on the market. And through the years, there have been constant new developments and improvements. Jello's delicious flavor has been made extra rich, and new flavors have been introduced. Jello is quicker and easier to make nowadays, for it dissolves instantly in hot water and sets far more quickly. And with all the improvements, Jello costs less. Today you pay half as much for it as you would have 20 years ago. Yes, without boasting, we can truthfully say that Jello has kept right on the bandwagon in the great parade of progress. So Jello salutes the grocers of America and is proud to march along with them. And for our float in the big parade, we suggest the box with the big red letters on it that spell Jello. That was Mr. and Mrs. America, played by the orchestra. And now, folks, you all know last Wednesday night, Clark Gable and Carol Lombard eloped to Kingman, Arizona, and were married. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we bring you the man who held the ladder, Jack Benny.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Jello again. This is Cupid's assistant talking. And, Don, I don't know where you got that information about my helping Clark and Carol. But you're right, and I was never so embarrassed in my life. There I was holding the ladder, all dressed up in a tuxedo, like a big goof.
Tuxedo, what was the big idea?
Well, it's very silly, really. You see, Carol called up and asked me to hurry over because she was going to run away and get married.
Yes?
Well, I got so darn excited, I thought she meant to me. Gosh, when I saw Gable there, I almost fainted.
Oh, my, that must have been quite a letdown for you, huh, Jack?
Well, it was, but they were awfully nice about it, though. They let me keep the ladder. I'm going to grow ivy on it, you know.
Well, Jack, now, what in the world made you think that Miss Lombard would elope with you anyway?
Oh, I don't know, Don. She's always so nice when we meet on the street. And then one time, during a dust storm, she winked at me. So, what was I to think?
Oh, it's too bad, Jack, but you shouldn't jump at conclusions like that.
I'll say I shouldn't. On the way over to her house, I tore up all my old phone numbers. Now, if I want a date, I'll have to join the Lonesome Club. But as I said before, Don, they were awfully sweet. You know, they even wanted me to go along with them, and... Pardon me. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Bennett. This is Rochester.
It is, eh?
Are you still mad at me, boy?
Yes, Rochester, I'm not talking to you. Goodbye. Can't get around me that easy.
Now, what's the trouble, Jack?
It's a personal matter, Don. I'd rather not discuss it. What were we talking about?
Oh, you said something about Clark and Carol wanting you to go along with them.
Oh, yes, they needed the best man at their wedding, but I couldn't make it. You see, I'm pretty busy right now. I started making my new picture at Paramount.
Paramount? Why, that's where you made your last one.
I know, Don. Don't act so surprised. This is going to be my first legitimate picture. It's called Man About Town.
Oh, it's a very clever title. Who's directing it?
A fellow by the name of Sandrich, Mark Sandrich. And I'm having a lot of trouble with that guy, too.
Jack, you're always having trouble with your directors. What's wrong this time?
There's plenty wrong. You see, Don Sandrich directed most of the Astaire Rogers pictures, and he can't get away from that Fred Astaire treatment. It's too much for me.
Oh, now, what do you mean?
Well, he has me jumping over furniture all the time. Gee, I'm so tired at night I can hardly rinse out my socks. No kidding.
Oh, but I can't imagine that director wanting you to work like Fred Astaire. It must be quite strenuous.
You said it. Why, yesterday we shot a scene where I enter an English drawing room to talk to Edward Arnold. See, he plays the part of Lord Arlington.
I see.
Well, anyway, instead of just walking up to him and saying hello, Sandrich made me leap over 2 divans, a love seat, and the Duchess of Twiffledom. My goodness.
Did you clear everything?
All but the Duchess. Every time I tried it, I wound up piggyback. I tell you, Don, I'm a wreck. Oh, hello, Mary.
Hello, Leaping Lena. How are you?
There you are, Don. You see, Mary's been over at the studio. She knows.
No kidding, Mary. Does Jack really have to do all that jumping?
Does he? He's got a kangaroo for a stand-in.
Now, Mary, he's not a real one. That happens to be the man's name, Barney Kangaroo.
Well, he's got an awful big pocket.
Now, you're just being silly. But you know, Don, there's one thing about this picture that says me. I think we'll see how agile I am. Why leap over that furniture just like Fred Astaire?
Who couldn't with bed springs on their shoes?
Well, I had to have some help. And those springs worked out fine.
You'll get the Academy Award from the Murphy Bed Company.
Oh, I will. Well, let me tell you something, Don. If I don't break a leg, I think this is going to be my best picture.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it, Jack. Who's going to be in it besides yourself?
Well, there's Dorothy Lamour, Edward Arnold, Benny Barnes, E.E. Clive, 500 extras, and Phil Harris. By the way, where is Phil?
Oh, he'll be here in a little while. No kidding, Jack. Is Phil really going to be in your picture?
Yes, I got him a small part. He also hangs up my clothes and sees that they're pressed, you know. That'll keep him busy.
Those big love scenes with Dorothy Lamour will keep him busy, too.
Listen, Mary, Phil may hold Dorothy in his arms, but her heart belongs to Benny. Don't worry about me.
Say, Mary, how is Phil in the picture? Is he a good actor?
I think he's going to be great in it.
Great? What a show-off. Somebody told him he had beautiful hips, and he keeps backing into the camera. He looks like a crawfish with a Marcel. Now, let's forget the picture. Oh, hello, Kenny.
Hiya, Jack. Say, your shirt tail's sticking out.
It is. Where?
April Fool! Boy, did you fall for that one.
Kenny, in the first place, yesterday was April Fool's Day, and in the second place, you didn't fool me because my shirt tail is out.
Is that your shirt? I thought it was a Chinese newspaper.
Well, it has been to the laundry a lot. Kenny, I bet you were some cut-up yesterday fooling everybody and carrying on like mad, huh?
I'll say. Gee, I sure pulled a good April Fool gag on my girl. She falls for anything.
What'd you do, Kenny?
Well, I called her up and I said, this is Robert Taylor speaking. Will you marry me?
That's cute. What'd your girl say?
She said, yes, just as soon as I get rid of that cluck I'm going with.
Well, you certainly fooled her, all right.
You ought to hear the gag I pulled on my boss, Mervyn Leroy. I sent him a bomb. Yahoo!
You sent him a bomb. Did he get it?
Oh, I think so. I can't find him.
Why, Kenny, you're just making that up because I saw Mervyn Leroy on the street this afternoon.
All of them?
Yes, all of them. Now, let's forget about April Fool's Day because it's over and done with. How about singing your song?
Okay, I'm ready.
Hold it a minute, Kenny. Come in.
Telegram for Jack Benny.
Take it, Mary. Here you are, boy. Here's a tip for you.
A tip?
Yes.
Hi-ho, nickel.
Fresh guy. Don't believe him, folks. It was a quarter.
Must be cheap material. It shrunk.
Never mind that. Who's the wire from?
Oh, look, Jack, it's from Fred Allen.
Oh, that Mongolian? What's he got to say?
Dear Screwball. Understand you are starting a new picture called Man About Town. If you're the man, get out of town before it's released, my dear.
Oh, he would have to put his 2 cents in.
That's a hot one.
Sing your song, Kenny, or I'll put you back in the trunk. That Allen's going too far.
It wasn't on the island of Capri. It wasn't on the beach at Waikiki, nor at a perfume counter in Paris that we met. And yet, something in the air was continental. There were moonbeams caressing the sand. I was feeling young and sentimental at a little frog stand. Gallantly, I handed you the mustard. Then you curtsied, I kissed your hand. Inwardly, my heart was getting flustered at a little hot dog stand. The bubbles in our soda pop just hit us like champagne. I guessed that we had 5 or 6. From somewhere in the distance came a Viennese refrain. Or was my fancy playing tricks? Then and there the spark of love ignited. It was real and the feeling was grand. To our wedding breakfast you're invited at a little hot dog stand. There were moonbeams caressing the sand at a little hot dog stand. Gallantly, I handed you the mustard. Then you curtsied and I kissed your hand. At a little hot dog stand. The bubbles in our soda pop just hit us like champagne. I guess we had 5 or 6. From somewhere in the distance came a Viennese refrain. Or was my fancy playing tricks? Then and there the spark of love ignited. It was real and the feeling was grand. To our wedding breakfast you're invited at a little hot dog stand.
There we go. That was A Little Old Hot Dog Stand, sung by Kenny Baker. And very good, Kenny. I enjoyed it immensely.
You're not the only one, sweetheart.
Modest little devil. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a rare treat in store for you. Mr. Don Wilson, that eminent American author, has written another... I can't get over that wire from Alan. You know, Don, that guy's got a lot of nerve taking up my time with those cheap gags of his.
I agree with you, Jack. Did you hear him Wednesday night?
Yes, him and that Maxwell Strauss stuff. He's about as clever as Simple Simon.
Well, I think it's marvelous the way Fred makes up his gags as he goes along.
Oh, you do, eh?
Yes, he certainly knows how to ad-lib.
Ad-lib? Sure he ad-libs. He has to. He can't read a script. Why, do you know, Don, he has nothing in his library but life, look, and click. I happen to know.
Well, Jack, if Alan can't read, how does he order food from a menu in a restaurant?
He goes to a cafeteria where he can point. He took up juggling just so he wouldn't drop a tray. Anyway, getting back to our program, Mr. Don Wilson, that eminent American author, has written another... Pardon me. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Benny. This is me again.
Rochester Van Jones, I'm not talking to you.
You mean I'm still on the blacklist?
Certainly. Goodbye.
What's the matter with you in Rochester, Jack?
Oh, it's nothing, Don. Forget it.
I know.
Quiet. Where were we, Don?
Well, you started to tell the folks about my play.
Oh, yes. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Don Wilson, that eminent American author, has written another of his famous short playlists, which are bringing him nearer and nearer to the Pulitzer Prize. Take it, Wilson.
The scene is the home of Mr. and Mrs. Luke Miller, who live in a cabin in the just heart of the Mojave Desert. They're just finishing their evening meal. Music, please.
Well, Tess, I thought our dinner tonight was excellent, especially that tempting and delicious Jell-O.
You're right, Luke. It was worth going 50 miles to the nearest grocer to get it.
I'll say it was. Who can that be? We haven't had a visitor in this forsaken spot in over 3 years.
Luke, I told you we should have built this out of camp on a highway.
Oh, they'll put a road through here one of these days. Come in.
Oh, I'm starving.
Look, Luke, it's a man.
Yes, Tess, it is. Let's carry him over to this chair.
Where am I?
Take it easy, young fella. What seems to be the trouble?
I'm a prospector, and for 3 weeks now I've been lost in the desert without food or drink. I'm starving, I tell you. Starving.
Be calm, my boy. We'll take care of you.
Yes, I'll fix you a nice hot dish of beef stew.
No, thank you. I'm a vegetarian.
Oh. Then how about a nice cucumber salad?
Sorry, old man. I like cucumbers, but they don't like me. Oh, I'm so weak. I'm starving, I tell you. Starving.
Be patient. We'll think of something, stranger.
Say, would you like a piece of homemade chocolate cake?
With nuts in it?
Yes.
Pecans or walnuts?
Walnuts.
No, thank you.
Well, good heavens, man, you gotta eat something. Isn't there anything you'd like?
Yes. Have you any Jell-O?
Jell-O? I'm sorry, old man, we had some, but we ate every bit of it.
But I'm going to make it again tomorrow.
Okay, I'll be back. So long.
So long, stranger.
I'm starving, I tell you. Starving.
Oh, what a commence coffee. That little drama, folks, was written by our own Don Wilson. And, Don, I'll have to admit that you're a fat Noel Coward. Of all your plays, that's the best one yet.
Well, don't give me all the credit, Jack. That was a true story.
I believe you. You know, one of these days, Don, you ought to...
Hey, Jack, look who just came in.
Oh, yes, our new movie star. Hello, Mr. Harris. You're a little late, aren't you?
I am a bit tardy, but by the time I selected my wardrobe and had my bath, time just fizzled away.
Well, I can imagine. Listen, Phil, because you're in the movies now is no excuse for being late.
Well, I was home studying my part. I've got a big day before the camera tomorrow.
Oh, you have?
Hey, Phil, can I have your autograph?
Later, son.
What a ham. I want to tell you something, Phil. I saw a screen test. Phil, I saw a screen test of you the other day, and believe me, it broke my heart.
Was it that good?
I'm talking to Phil. And another thing, Phil, while you're working in my picture, I don't want you to go around giving all the girls at Paramount your phone number.
My phone number?
Yes, phone number. I saw you with that blonde in front of the commissary the other day.
Now, wait a minute, Jack. She just asked me what time it was, and I told her.
Well, she must have a poor memory. She wrote it down. I can't see how you ever got into a suave, sophisticated picture like this one.
You should talk. You used to be a comedian in a burlesque show. Sliding Sam Benny.
Now, that's what I call dreaming it up. Mary, have I ever been in a burlesque show?
Only as a customer.
There you are. I just go in there once to get my father. He's nearsighted and thought it was Grand Opera.
Who is he waiting in the alley for, Gallicurchi?
I didn't inquire. And now, Phil, if you can forget you're a movie star for a couple of minutes, how about a band number?
Okay, Jackson. The boys and myself are going to play a popular little ditty entitled, Never Mind the Bread, Sonny, Pop'll Be Home with a Bun.
Now, Phil, stop with those epigrams. Now, what are you going to play?
All right. Mary and I have been rehearsing that new song, I Go For That, and we're going to sing it to each other.
Oh, well, that's a novelty. Say, Mary, you're going to sing with Phil, eh?
Uh-huh.
That ought to be cute.
Well, that's better not become a habit.
Penny, don't be so jealous. You're not the only singer in the world.
Well, I'm the object of my affection.
Never mind that. Go ahead, Phil and Mary. Let's hear what you've cooked up.
Okay.
Hold it a minute. Come in.
Mr. Benny,
Yes?
is your real name Maxwell Stroud?
No, it isn't. I'm not Maxwell Stroud.
Don't lie to me, Daddy. Come right home.
Get out of here. What a pest. I wonder if I could catch him on fly paper.
way you walk, that silly talk, I go for that.
Your dizzy folks, your corny jokes, I go for that.
Your kiss just misses, your dancing is rough.
But you love that stuff. I guess you don't get around enough.
Your crazy poems, your letters from home, I go for that.
And furthermore, I just adore your kinky hair, that puffy stare.
To Mr. Cupid, I take off my hat.
You can't account for a silly place of all the girls you could have chased.
I looked at you and ooh, I go for that. You know, Mary, we'll have a home, a private phone.
I'd go for that.
Yeah, not only that, you'll have a ring, a pretty thing.
I'd go for that. But your salary misses, so cut off that stuff.
You mean the going will be rough?
I guess you just don't make enough.
But Jello's fine and I'm in line to get more dough.
I heard that crack. You'll get the sack, you corny Joe from the Wilshire Bowl.
Now, Mr. Benny, you take that right back.
Now, look, boys, you mustn't fight. You're breaking up my wedding night.
He'd better not, 'cause, ooh, I go for that.
That was I Go For That, played by the orchestra with a special vocal chorus by Jeanette McLivingston and Nelson Harris. The Nightingales of the Jello program.
If you want the real down, ask me.
Kenny, I don't recall anybody asking you. Now keep still.
More darn singers on this program. Don't be surprised if I'm not here next Sunday.
You'll be here next Sunday and like it.
Well, I'll be here, but I won't sing.
You'll sing, too. Now drop it. And now, folks.
I won't sing good.
And you'll sing good.
Not very.
Hear me. And now, folks, going from juvenile temperament to our feature attraction, tonight we are going to present... Pardon me, if that's Rochester again, I'll... Hello?
Hello, boss. Are you still looking down on me with scorn?
Rochester, I want you to stop with these telephone calls. Do you hear me?
Well, boss, I said I was sorry.
Rochester, what you did to me, only time will heal. Goodbye. As I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are going to present...
What's all this mystery, Jack? What are you mad at Rochester for?
Don, it concerns only him and me.
Oh, why don't you tell him, Jack?
Yes, what did he do?
Very well, Don. Rochester hocked my polar bear. That's what he did.
He what?
You heard me. He pawned Carmichael for $30. Of all the low tricks.
For heaven's sake, Jack, didn't you know the bear was missing?
Of course I did, but Rochester told me he was playing the Orpheum. Then when I was downtown last night, I happened to walk by a pawn shop, and there was Carmichael hanging in the window, right next to a slide trombone.
But, Jack, how'd you know it was your bear?
He was wearing my new wristwatch. Don Roger, he could have got $12 on that alone. I know. Well, he hasn't heard the last of this. Oh, well, let's get back to our play. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to present a new and original comedy drama entitled Topper Takes an Aspirin. He's taken everything else. Now, in this vehicle, I will naturally play the part of Topper, while Mary... Oh, more interruptions. Come in. What are you... Well, I'll be darned. Hey, fellas, look who's here.
Hello, stranger.
Well, this is indeed a surprise. It's good to see you again, Schlepperman.
And I'm happy to see you too, Jackie boy. Well, look, everybody's here. It's like old times. Hello, Mary.
Hello, Slap.
My, you're getting prettier every day.
Thanks. How's your wife?
Vice versa.
Good old Slep. Doggone, it's good to see you again.
And Kenny and Phil, believe me, you're a sight for sore feet.
Hello, Slapperman.
Glad to see you, Slep.
And Don Wilson, my, tell me, were you always so big or don't I remember?
Well, Slap, to tell you the truth, I did put on a pound here and there.
Here, I don't mind, but there, it's unbecoming.
Same old Slep. You know, I haven't seen you in over a year. What have you been doing with yourself?
I've been all over the country, north, south, east, and uptown. I was playing in vaudeville.
In vaudeville? What kind of an act did you do?
I was a magician.
Oh, a magician. Oh. Were you a good one?
Sensational. You should see me pull the lining out of the hat.
Say, that's some trick.
What are you doing out here in California, Schlep? On a vacation?
No, I'm in business here. I opened up a little nightclub. Slapperman's, Hawaii, Haciente. Which is you here.
Well, I'll sure be out there to see you. Tell me, Slep, have you got a floor show?
Have I got a floor show? My son Tinkers plays the drums. I play the ukulele.
Oh.
And for a feature, my wife wiggles.
Say, that sounds great. You know, I'd like to drop in and see your wife do the hula.
Okay, if you're passing by, but don't make it a special trip, please.
Oh, she can't be that bad. Well, I wish you a lot of luck in your new place, and we'll be over to see you very soon.
Thank you, Well. I gotta toddle along now. Aloha, everybody.
So long, Slep. Good afternoon.
So long, Slep.
I wanna go back to my little dress shack on the La Hacienda on 3rd Street, around the corner.
It was sure good seeing Schlepperman again. He's a nice little fellow. Well, kids, getting kind of late now. I don't think we'll have time to do our play. So how about saving it for next week? It's very long, and if that's who I think it is, he's in for a good bawling out. Hello?
Hello, boss. This is your bad boy talking.
Rochester, I told you before, I'm not making up with you until you unhock that polar bear. So goodbye.
Goodbye. Wait a minute, boss. That's what I called you up about. I got Carmichael out of the pawn shop. He's back in the house.
Oh, well, that's more like it. Now, don't you ever do a thing like that again. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Now, wait a minute. I just thought of something. Where did you get the $30 to get Carmichael out of the pawn shop?
I thought you weren't speaking to me.
Rochester, where did you get that $30?
The what?
The $30, where did you get it?
It could have been a legacy, you know.
It could have, but it wasn't. Now, for the last time, where did you get the $30?
I sold my AT&T.
Rochester, you never had a share of stock in your life. Now, if you don't tell me where you got that $30, you're fired.
Okay, boss. Your violin is now hanging where Carmichael was.
Oh, my... Rochester, did you pawn my Stradivarius?
That ain't what the man said. So long, boss.
Rochester, can you imagine that, fellas? He pawned my violin.
Here's something every woman knows. But her family is always eager for something new and different for dessert. It's not always easy to find, though, and that's why every week we try to bring you some new ideas. Tonight's specialty is a delicious combination called Jell-O Plum Mold. It's a shimmering mold of rich red cherry Jell-O with canned blue plums, the big juicy kind. It's easy to make, too, and here's how. Dissolve 1 package of cherry Jell-O in 1 pint of hot water and chill until slightly thickened. Then fold in 1 cup of canned blue plums. Mold until firm and, well, there you are. Quick, easy, and temptingly good. For cherry Jell-O brings you that incomparable, extra-rich flavor, as appetizing as fresh, ripe fruit. It tastes just grand combined with the succulent goodness of juicy plums, so try this new dessert tomorrow. Ask your grocer for cherry Jell-O and surprise the family with a Jell-O Plum Mold.
We're a little late, so good night, folks.
Is on the Jell-O program for courtesy of Mervyn LeRoy Productions. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Thank you for listening to and showing your support for my podcast. If you would like to receive notifications of when new episodes are posted, please subscribe to my channel. Well, hope you enjoyed, and until next time, stay safe, wish you well, and as always, peace.